Come on into the Business on Purpose podcast, where we're here liberating small business owners from the chaos of working in your business. Scott Beebe, the head coach, the founder, and got an interesting question from a small business owner this week. And the question simply was, do I have to grow? Where I'm at, what we have, there's good revenue coming in the door. We've got a good team where we're at. We've got a great product. We've also got people calling us for our service. Do we have to expand? Do we have to grow? The short answer is no. Obviously, no. You don't have to. You're the driver of the ship. That's the short answer, though. I want to challenge you. And so I want to go back. Stick with me. If you go back to Genesis 4, and I've talked about this a little bit before, in Exodus 35. Genesis 4, Exodus 35. Again, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a Jew. Many Muslim background folks understand the Old Testament of the Christian Bible, and so there's a lot of genealogy there. For those of you who may not be familiar with the Bible, that's okay. But Genesis is very, very historical. Exodus, very historical. Happened a long, long time ago, but it's a well-documented piece of what actually happened. And if you go back and look, there are some names with skills beside the names of some people. So Genesis 4, you hear about Jabal, Jubal, and Tubal-Cain. And I believe it's Jabal who was given a skill set and ability to work with livestock, so he's literally a cowboy. Jubal was given the skill set capability to play stringed instruments, so let's just call it the guitar, and also some pipes. And so I don't know if that's the flute, some sort of pipe flute, something like that. And then you've got Tubal-Cain, and we see that he was given a skill set to be able to work with metal, blacksmith, ironsmith. Then in Exodus 35, you've got Bezalel, who it says was given the Spirit of God, given great wisdom, capability, and expertise in all sorts of crafts. And it begins to lay out the craft, stone cutting, gem making, etc. Now, obviously, this is way pre-industrial revolution. This is way pre-technological revolution. My goodness, this is pre-medieval times. This is way back. And yet, way back, human beings, just like you and I, were given skill sets, capabilities. Why? That's the ultimate question we've got to ask ourselves, is why? So let's bring that up to today. You have been given a skill set capability to run QuickBooks. I'm just going to give you some examples. You have been given a skill set capability to work on cars. You've been given a skill set capability to be a restaurateur. Whatever that might look like, you've been given that skill set, that capability. Why? What's the point? Why do you have that book? I'm convinced the reason you have that is so that you can serve other people who don't. I'm really glad there's farmers in the world who are producing food. Because if there weren't, I would struggle to get food to eat. I'm really glad that there are people who expertise and excel in wood trim work, carpentry, because my house wouldn't look as good if it was up to me. The reality is that we've been bestowed skill sets, gifts that others have not been. And so when you've taken a business to a certain point, and then you ask the question, do I have to grow? Well, no, you don't have to. You're the steward of that business. My question is, though, how many other people are not going to enjoy the value, enjoy the engaging relationship of that skill because you've decided to cap? You've decided to put an artificial ceiling on where you're at. Am I mandating that you grow? No, I'm really not. In fact, you need to struggle with growth. You need to figure out, do we need to grow? This is where we come back and ask for wisdom. Now, I realize this is a more kind of religious podcast episode than normal. That's okay. Just hang with me. There's a verse in a small little letter called James in the back end of the Bible that says, if any of you doesn't have wisdom, if any of you lacks wisdom, ask God. That's it. And so I'm even going to challenge some of you who are professed atheists. You don't believe that God really exists. I'm going to challenge you in this question of growth in your business. Ask God. Ask as if he does exist. And keep asking. In fact, there's a great little story. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. And there's an example of somebody who keeps coming to the neighbor's door and knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking. And lo and behold, the neighbor ends up giving him what he needs. If you don't have wisdom of whether or not you should grow, if you don't have wisdom of whether or not you should keep that person or let go of that person, if you don't have wisdom of expansion into new products, services, ask God. He'll give you wisdom. Do you need to grow? Ask God. He's given you a skill. Other people enjoy the benefit of that skill. Now it's time to get wisdom on what you need to do. I hope this is helpful for you in helping to liberate you from the chaos of working in your business. As always, we're here to help you with the clarity in your business. mybusinessonpurpose.com/vision. We've put in the sweat. Now it's time for you to put in the sweat. We'll see you right here next time on the Business on Purpose podcast.